Join Trezor every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the nation's favorite radio station, playing the best hip-hop, urban, Afro, and R&B on 99 FM.
99 FM. Be inspired.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I am Nashawn Marenga. In the news tonight, Utoni urges new NHE Board of Directors to prioritize housing provision. Project Hope Namibia aids Ministry of Health and Social Services to achieve COVID-19 vaccine target. Training to equip TVET instructors underway in Windhoek. Climate change poses a threat to water resources. And Business on One, Comments Corner, Sport and the weather. The Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Utoni, has called on the newly appointed National Housing Enterprise NHE Board of Directors to double their efforts in order to make a difference in people's lives. Utoni also requested the board to work as a team in order for their work to be effective. This new Board of Directors will take office this Wednesday.
Speaking at the occasion of welcoming the new board of directors, Utoni said housing remains a compound subject and the pressure on urban areas is becoming ever more severe, as demonstrated by rapidly increasing urbanization over the last 2 decades. He added that the national housing backlog is currently estimated at over 300,000 housing units, and 70% of this backlog is in the lowest income categories, where people earn below 1,500 Namibian dollars and cannot access credit from financial institutions. Utoni further points out some challenges and why the National Housing Enterprise has been experiencing a slow growth over the past years in achieving its national targets in terms of housing delivery.
Communication and coordination among the role players in terms of the provision of housing units countrywide. Sometimes local authorities, they have their way of dealing with these things. Yeah, that is also one of the challenges. Thus, it is notable that significant progress, various and achievement was achieved, recorded at NHE despite the many challenges and the COVID-19 impact under the current board of directors. We have also witnessing the delivery of housing countrywide in various towns, and the momentum is picking up going forward. Thus, I commend and give credit to the current board of directors and the current strategic plan. This was a testimony that the board was determined to cause an impact, and what circumstances present as obstacle. I truly applaud you for your hard work.
The newly appointed NHE board chairperson, Tosca Sam, thanked the outgoing board. Sam further stated that they are very excited in taking up this mammoth task and pledged to serve the Namibian nation in the provision of affordable housing. Sam emphasized on the strategic plan they have.
Amongst the key tasks that we are to embark upon, as outrightly underlined in the handover report, certainly we will continue, Mr. Shivute, to have that strategic oversight. We will continue to work in unity, as the outgoing board has always done, because our motto was, when you are together, you make more powerful decisions and in the best interest of the nation.
The incoming board consists of Ms. Tosca Sem, who is the chairperson, Mr. Hastings Chikupuye as the deputy chairperson. Other members are Rita Kiba, Ada Angula, Eriksen Mwanyekange, Oshoveli Hivelwa, and Socrates Diaz.
Swipe on it and win! Come bank with us and stand a chance to win the grand prize of an eco-friendly hybrid vehicle or one of 40 fuel vouchers worth $40,000 Namibian.
Full tank, possibly.
To enter, simply make any purchase using your Bank Vintage Visa debit or credit card between the 1st of October 2022 and the 31st of March 2023. With your Bank Vintage Visa card in hand, let's journey together with every swipe. Visit bankvintage.com.na for more information. Protect yourself against fraud and never share your PIN. T's and C's apply. Bank Vintage, a member of Capricorn Group.
The Health Deputy Minister, Esther Munyangwe, said the country has made great strides in controlling the COVID-19 pandemic since the first case was reported about 3 years ago. Munyangwe stated that the country experienced a high fatality rate during the months of June and July 2020. The Deputy Minister made these remarks while receiving equipment from Project Hope Namibia that will be used by the COVID-19 vaccination team on the ground at various centers.
Donation includes 40 tables, 130 chairs, 25 patient screens, 11 patient benches, 35 plastic containers, 10 laptops and 25 tablets. Speaking at the handover ceremony, the Health Deputy Minister, Esther Munyangwe, said the support will improve healthcare service delivery, data capturing and recording of COVID-19 by vaccination teams.
Namibia has made great strides in her quest to control the COVID-19 pandemic since the first case was reported in March 2020. The country experienced the saddest moments since the onset of the pandemic, with a high fatality rate during the months of June and July 2021. The journey from the onset to date has not been a walk in the park. It was met by logistical challenges such as inadequate human and material resources, as well as other amenities needed to adequately respond to the pandemic on time.
Project Hope Country Director Rosalia Indongo stated that the donation was made possible by the Saving Lives and Livelihoods initiative, which is funded by the MasterCard Foundation through the Africa Centers for Diseases Control. A total of $1.5 million Namibian has been awarded to Namibia for a period of 3 years, starting on the 1st of August 2022 and ending on the 31st of July 2025.
We still have a lot of time that we can do so much. With this support, we are tasked to recruit vaccinators and data clerks, so human resources are part of this funding. We are supposed to ensure that the vaccination sites are not limited to health facilities only, but also in the rural area through outreach services. We are supposed to make sure that for the fixed sites, they have what they need to do their job. For instance, making sure that where a PEP is needed, we make sure that provision is made so that the hygiene part of that intervention is secured. We are also given the money to procure various other equipment that are deemed necessary to deliver effective services to our people.
The ministry's expanded program on immunization COVID-19 program implements activities in 7 regions, namely Kavango East, Kavango West, Ohangwena, Oshikoto, Omusati and Zambezi regions to increase vaccination of COVID-19.
The Namibian College of Open Learning, NAMCO, in partnership with the Commonwealth of Learning, are hosting a 3-day workshop for instructors in the Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET, to learn about the Skills for Work model, which is a guiding framework aimed at enhancing their competencies.
Robert Okinda, the advisor of skills at Commonwealth of Learning, described the training as crucial as it equips TVET instructors with the necessary skills and for them to better understand how to train the youth for the labor market.
So the Skills for Work initiative at the Commonwealth of Learning has three broad approaches. One is on building the resilience of TVET systems, and the second one is on strengthening skills training in our TVET systems, and the third one is on fostering employability of the youth for decent jobs in the blue economy, in the green economy. And this particular workshop focuses on enhancing skills training in our TVET institutions, and we are glad that we have representation from management of institutions, from practitioners who implement training in our institutions, and we're also glad to have a Member of Parliament joining in to learn how the government can be able to support skills training in our TVET institutions, because we are looking at developing courseware material that will be used by TVET trainers across different countries, and this will essentially reduce the cost of training if practitioners can be able to design and develop material to be used by practitioners across the different countries that is standardized.
Two of the participants said that this workshop will enhance their capabilities as trainers, adding that their mandate to train skilled personnel to respond to the market needs will be met smoothly.
So what we are trying to do today is that we are trying to develop a framework that is going to guide our training. We are also looking at the issue of what competence that we need to develop for our TVET teachers or trainers so that they will be able to cope with this blended learning training or mode.
It is very crucial for me in the sense that for us we are really rolling out the blended learning in the institution, and personally I support the e-learning in the institution. So I focus more on supporting the trainers in the institution to have the capacity to facilitate in an online environment. So for this one, having started this program for blended learning, this workshop will really support us in getting the gist on how exactly should blended learning be delivered, how can it be implemented using the best practices in other countries. So having this framework will help us to kind of align us in the right path when it comes to implementing e-learning, blended learning,
A Kenyan Member of Parliament, Gisairo Cliff, urged member state government to take up their roles in supporting educators in order to enhance skills development.
This requires a lot of players and everybody playing their role. I'm here as a Member of Parliament because we are legislators. We are the ones who develop policy, who make, who legislate. So if we do not support the educationists, the ones who are passionate towards making this happen, and as politicians we don't come in front and take our roles, then we are affecting negatively our young generation. So I do believe that governments need really to support the educationists in the dreams that they have.
Nine hopeful teams have started an epic journey of a lifetime from all corners of the Rainbow Nation to make their way to host city Nelson Mandela Bay to take part in the world's toughest outdoor cooking competition.
Put it down! Put it down! I was using my hands as a tong.
But if this year's hopefuls think that they've got the game sussed out, that it's going to be an easy ride into the final, they are sorely mistaken. To stay in the game, they will not only have to earn the right to compete in the final, but prove that they deserve their place around my fire.
Second team to be eliminated from the game is
In a game where anything can happen, where one slip-up can end a team's epic journey.
What are you doing here?
Where their time on the road depends on brilliant food prepared on the open fire.
This is horrid.
Only the team that consistently impresses the judges in a journey that will crisscross the Eastern Cape will get their prize-cinched fingers on over R500,000 in cash and prizes and this year's title. It's winner take all for the team that can survive being under fire. Game on.
The impact of climate change in Namibia continues to be felt across many sectors, especially when it comes to the availability of water. The statement was made by the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform spokesperson, Jona Musheko, who was speaking at a media workshop in Windhoek aimed at enhancing media practitioners' reporting skills on climate change.
Jona Musheko told journalists attending the workshop that frequent occurrence of natural disasters such as droughts and floods poses a significant threat that could lead to water becoming scarce. Thus, preserving the resources has become critical. Musheko was speaking at a two-day workshop held last week in Khomasdal at the Gateway Center, attended by over 25 journalists.
Drought adverse impact on water resources. It can also then affect give us prolonged the cycle of drought that leads to water scarcity in low term as well as river levels. When there is less water available or when there is increased temperature, which is because of climate change, water flies away so fast that we haven't used that water for what we wanted to use it. If that channel gets to be disturbed, there will be no water in Oshana, there will be no water in Paki, in Agwena, there will be no water in Mzati. Because all these three regions, as well as Oshkoto, they are fed by that canal. So if there is high temperature, this canal sometimes I think we lose above 20% of that water.
Musheko further highlighted that although Namibia embraces the rainfall during the rainy season, large volumes of water that comes inland through the flooding can have a negative impact, such as causing damage to water supply infrastructure and dams to overflow.
We are not so sad about it because it's also coming to serve as refilling our groundwater table in all those areas where it's traveling. So in as much as it's doing damages here and there, some at the back of our mind we are also saying at least it's also refilling our groundwater table. So we are also fair enough on the safer side. The Angwena aquifer, it's a groundwater source. But this aquifer starts in Angola also. So it's starting in Angola, flowing into Namibia. So Angola feeds us water in two different ways. Flat, which is surface water, and twice the groundwater, which is coming through the Angwena aquifer. The aquifer that is well spoken, and they are saying it can feed us water for how many years? 400 years.
Musheko concluded by saying the ministry is working on setting up a desalination plant in the Irongo region to tap into potable drinking water sourced from the sea.
We've always had the bravery to stand up for what is Namibian, from protecting our homes to fighting injustices. We still celebrate what it means to us and raise a glass to those who show their bravery. No matter how they take on the world, with all this potential in the land of the brave, what will you do to make this Namibia your Namibia?
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. Over 143 homes in Walfish Bay will benefit from the government electrification program. The scheme, which started last week at the coastal town, is expected to cost nearly $8 million. The residents lost their homes in a devastating fire that happened at Dwalaloka informal settlement 3 years ago and were temporarily accommodated in tents at the coastal town. The residents were eventually moved into their new homes at Otoya, but they have been without electricity for over a year.
The Walvis Bay Urban Constituency Councillor Donatus Degako stated that despite the lack of electricity, the residents had to be placed in the houses as soon as possible to avoid staying in tents. Degako said that the electrification process of the houses could not continue because of a dispute over land ownership between the government and the National Housing Enterprise. He added that another issue that contributed to the delay in the houses getting electricity was the electrical substation issue, which he said has been resolved.
There was a bit of a hold-up in the sense that the land in question was having a type of a bit of dispute, and then there was a ownership issues between government, NHE, and also the rules and the regulation when it comes to Erongo rate and so on. First of all, the substation must be registered in the name of Erongo rate for them to avoid them doing work on something that end up not theirs. So, and that was resolved. The substation, as we speak right now, is now in the hands of Erongoret. It's now Erongoret have been given the mandate to now connect each house meters to the substation.
This is what excited residents had to say about the electricity installation in their homes.
Without electricity, it's very hard. Like for us, we're having school kids and we want to also to have business like selling beers, and for us to have money and pray for the kids. When we had the electricity it's coming, we were so surprised because we are going to open, like we are going to have fruits and the kids are no more going outside to go play outside. They are forever in the television, watching TV in their house.
They took a bit long to install electricity, but now things are going better.
Upon completion, the Walvis Bay municipality will conduct inspections and award each house with a completion certificate and deeds of property.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more business news.
Great deals from Choppies. Choppies, great deals for your money.
And now for a look at Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. National Housing Enterprise, or NHE, employees countrywide embarked on a strike on Friday last week after negotiations between the enterprise and the bargaining body, the Public Service Union of Namibia, had failed. Jolene said if the minister, board and executive fail, then there is no remedy. Shove said in Namibia everything seems to be a struggle. Shirongo said they want houses. According to Besson, the strike comes many days after the vote. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to engage in our stories on our social media pages for broadcast on News on One.
There are data deals. And then there are Telecom Namibia data deals. And if you want the biggest data deal of all, you gotta get 31-day Jiva, which comes with a massive 50 gigs of data. Is it even possible to use 50 gigs of data in a month? You tell us. You also get 1,000 voice minutes and 400 SMSs. To get your hands on 31-day Jiva, dial *130*780# and enjoy a month of mega data. Whoa, that's a lot of data, minutes and SMS. How much is that? Must be expensive. No, it's only 185 Namibian dollars excluding that. T's and C's apply. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
And now, let's have a look at some sports news. Molina Swali, a 24-year-old local swimmer who recently returned to Namibia after completing her studies in the United States of America, took part in the Bank-Windhoek Long Course Swimming Championships in the capital over the weekend. Swali broke multiple national swimming records and swam the fastest times in all female swimming categories of her age.
Molema Sweli had just returned from a scholarship where she was offered a 5-year swimming and academic scholarship at McKendree University in the United States of America. Sweli told Sport on One that the scholarship opened her eyes to the fact that she now swims one of Namibia's fastest times.
I also swam 50-meter butterfly before this race, and I swam exceptionally well in that. So you can't be too disappointed with it. Yeah, I'm just training with dolphins for the moment, for this year, just going to see how things go. As I said, I've been swimming for such a long time. You know, you never know what the future holds, so we'll see. Just continue practicing and see what happens. I lived in the States for about 5 years in a little town called Lebanon, Illinois. I went to university there and got sort of a bursary to go there, a little scholarship to swim and educate myself further. I did my undergrad degree and my master's degree. And yeah, it was an eye-opening experience. I lived and trained in the UK.
Another swimmer, Jesnil Helm, age 16, from the Phoenix Swimming Academy in the capital, said that she plans to swim at international competitions at the end of the year.
As far as it is now, I do plan to go international this year, but swimming has always been something that is very challenging for me, but at the same time it has been my therapy and it has helped me through a lot of struggles. It's also a team sport, it's fun, it's something I would recommend for anyone to do, whether they have a disability, whatever it is. I don't feel that should be something that stops you from doing what you want to pursue in any sport that you want to pursue.
David Bishop, the spokesperson for the Namibian Swimming Federation, explained that the Bank-Windhoek Long Course Swimming Championship is an opportunity for swimmers to qualify for the All Africa Games in South Africa and other sporting events such as the Commonwealth Youth Games.
The Nationals is just a chance for all the swimmers to shine, just to have that little bit of extra. A lot of the swimmers are getting better times. They're saying there's just that little bit extra sort of motivation for them. It's Nationals. They're going to do better. They're going to better their times. Maybe they get to break a record, win a trophy, win a medal. And it is also a seeding event. It's a qualifying event for some of the bigger international events. So swimmers here can qualify for events in South Africa. They can qualify for things like the All Africa Games, the Commonwealth Youth Games, even the Ghana Youth World Championships they could potentially qualify for here this weekend.
Molema Swali received the Senior Vitrix Lodram Trophy over the weekend, as well as individual prizes for swimming the quickest in 11 additional long-distance competitions.
That's all the sports news we had for you. Please stay tuned for the weather forecast. We have come to the end of tonight's edition of News at One. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. From me, Nashawn Marenga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.